Hi everyone, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have a Divine Masculine read. It is July 31st, 2019. The 31 is all about that Five of Wands, which is conflict energy, competition, expansion, and the quest, right, for the ultimate dream. It's sports as well, okay, like competition. The day adds up to 50, which is that 10 of Cups energy, which the 10 of Cups was reversed in the read today. The Five of Wands, is it upright? I think it was reversed. If I recall, it'll come up for sure. But either way, it's that the ending of emotional family cycles and the expansion, all right? So there could be some fighting or conflict that comes up, as well as a lot of sports energy, maybe watching sports with the family as well, that kind of thing. Also, directional things came up, like east and west, east being the feminine, west being the masculine energies, and I was getting southeast both. 2 times in the coding today, and I was getting southeast fires, which can represent the divine feminine of the east and the south of Gaia. So that's very much feminine energy, the mother and the daughter. So there could be a lot of fire or anger coming up for the feminines today. As I was finishing off this read, I have to admit some anger was coming up on my part, just on behalf of my other twin flame friends, who I want to defend when I see how their divine the things they say to them, that, you know, that they don't want them and things like that. Or it's just unbelievable to understand how strong these divine feminines are, to stand strong in their love for the divine masculines, even when they you know, they have sex with other people, and yet they know that the divine feminine feels them. They tell them that they don't love them, and yet they use them for other things, and for everyone it's different. And masculines, it's all about you. If you can't love your divine feminine, it's because you can't love yourself. That's why you're feeling that. Basically, God, divine source, love, energy, creator, whatever, however you see it, that energy has provided you your perfect mate. This is the other half of your soul. The perfect person. She syncs with you on all the things that you're so at, and she compliments you on everything that you're terrible at or really good at. She's your perfect partner. And yet, if you treat her the way you've been treating her, it's because you don't love yourself. And that's the scariest part for you, is learning to love yourself. Being okay with loving yourself. Seeing yourself as worthy of love. Even though on the outside you come off, you know, in a cocky or conceited way, which some of you masculines can, not all of them. But more of that stuff will come up in the read today. So I guess I just had to say a little bit of my piece. I definitely felt sexual energy coming through from my masculine from between midnight and 1 o'clock last night. And it's, you know, it's never easy to deal with, whether you pull it up or not. It's definitely about mastering the energies and not getting your feelings hurt when, you know, you feel violated. So, and it's not about getting pity pleas for me. I don't need it. I'm fine with myself. But I really, when it happens to my twin flame friends, you know, I just, you know, you want to defend them. You want to protect them. You want to love them. And you want their divine masculines to understand what they're doing and what they're doing to themselves. Okay, so I'm done with my little rant there. I'm sure you guys get it. But, you know, we're here to master our energies, master our emotions, our intellect, our passions, and our manifestation abilities, right? So other people can learn to forgive what we have learned to forgive. So if we can forgive all of this and still come together in love, then anyone around us should be able to forgive the trespasses done against them as well. Okay, so again, it's the 31st of the 5, and then the 50 of the 5. So we have the 31 is a 4, but the card is the 5 of Wands. So we have 4 and 5, and then the 5 of the 50, and then the 10 of Cups. So a lot of expansion, change energy, and double 5s always kind of coincide with going into that new beginning. But the Fool is definitely reversed in this read, so I'm going to get right into it because there's a lot here. Okay, so Was there anything else before I get started? Just the directional thing, east was coming up as feminine, west as masculine, and then north as the Christ consciousness, and then south, of course, as Gaia, the toggling up or the grounding below. Let's see. Also, before I started, I found the Two of Pentacles under the couch. So the juggler was hiding, okay, and now he's been exposed. So the Two of Pentacles is back there again, but there was a reason for that. It was being hidden, right? Or now it's no longer happening, okay, because it's been taken out of the deck. So definitely there was a shift here with this portal right now. It's definitely felt very calm today, that strange stillness, super quiet, and it was definitely the quiet before the storm because it's stormed since then. And I heard a tiny little air leak when I was in the kitchen earlier this morning. So there may be a little tiny leak that's whistling quietly, that becomes a bigger leak, which may be the message there. The master or the major arcana for this divine masculine twin flame read, and this is for the divine feminines as well, with a lot of masculine in their makeup, but we all have the masculine and feminine, so it applies to all of the twins, okay? The transition card came up, which is like the death card. Reflection, like the hermit. Before the read was starseed, which is like the fool, and after the read was the tower, which is the tower. So the tower was reversed, and the starseed as well. The death card was upright. The transformation was definitely powerful today. It's smack in the middle of the read there, you see the portal energies, the center card, and it was upright in its full power. Reflection was also upright, the hermit. So the death card and the hermit were the major players today, and that can be Scorpio and Virgo as well. Starseed being Aries and the tower Scorpio again, so a ton of Scorpio energy, which can be very stinging. So yeah, Scorpios don't tend to hold back. So that can definitely come out today. And my son's a Scorpio, so I definitely am familiar with that. There's 3 pentacles, 2 wands, 2 cups, 2 swords. So very well distributed, a little bit more on the pentacle side. And the court card was the Knight of Wands, which was the challenge position there. And the Knight of Wands is reversed energy. So that's not usually what we want to see him as, because that can be someone holding back their passions, but it also can be the player or the one who's not real, okay? So before the read, the Page of Swords also came up, and after the read, the Knight of Swords. So 2 swords and a Knight of Wands reversed, okay? So the Page of Swords was reversed, and the Knight of Swords was reversed. So we have 2 knights and a page all reversed, which can be kids. And I'm losing my voice, so a lot of stuff needs to be said, okay? Also major in this read, 4 10s, 10, 10, 10, 10, okay? I don't even remember when I've gotten 4 in one read before. 4 10s though, all right? Which is not only 4 9s, it's 4 10s. That's like we're in the new cycle already. The old cycle is done. So the other numbers that came up and the message here was all about intuition, love, and leadership. And the code line. The other numbers were 4, 10, 8, 22, which is the Emperor, the Wheel of Fortune, the Strength card, and then the Fool. And I'm losing my voice again, okay? It's making me want to cry, actually. 4, 10, 14 is the Temperance card of being patient, which I was losing my patience a little bit today. I didn't explode or anything, but I could feel it. So, you need to pull back to center space and center yourself again when you feel that way. 5 is the Hierophant, also coming up here. And the expansion and freedom energy. And 14 is a 5. Then we have 22, which is the Fool again, and 55, which is the Ace of Swords, which is reversed today. We have 3, 2, 2, 2, and also, which is the Fool, and the 32, which is the 6 of Wands, getting attention, success, good news, the bearer of good news. 45 came up, which is the grieving card, the 5 of Cups, upright. 24 is the Queen of Wands, who's upright today. 58 is the 4 of Swords, which I believe was upright today. And then the 25 of the Knight of Wands, who's reversed. 510 and 810 also came up. And a big sidebar of cards today, which I want to keep separate because the extra cards that come up after the read that I put out is like, it's not the point of the read today, but it's what's going on in the masculine situation, aside from the read that affects the read, okay? Because, you know, how can you give a full read if you don't use the full deck, all right? The full deck is the complete picture of what's going on at any given moment. So that's why I kind of like to use my mini deck and put out all the cards, because it gives us the complete picture. So let's see, the code line with intuition, love, and leadership, definitely the Adeptive Flames or the Knight of Wands came up here. And that has to do with the southeast fires as well. Could be fires putting out fires, but like I said, it's definitely attributed to the feminine energy here. That yes to toggle up and to connect with the feminine, right? Because the toggling up, the etheric realms is the feminine, and grounding is the masculine. He's the 3D gate holder. She's the 5D gate holder. The 14 of the angels and patience, which was also reversed in the read today, so impatience. But the 14 of the angels and re-energy, or the shaman energy, was coming up around the 8 of strength or weakness, or the eight, you know, so being sarcastic with people, trying to tempt people and flirt with them, and test their strength. And Tran was coming up, and that will come up later in the read as well. But yes came up twice as well, the Knight of Wands, regarding E, or the East, or the Divine Feminine, as far as intuition, love, and leadership abilities. Also the Sight for the Emperor, the high vibration, or the 10 off. The 10 is the high vibration. 10 also is your destiny, the Wheel of Fortune. Take 10% off your destiny. Is that what you want to do? Regarding the 8, the Strength card, Leo, strength, ego, and the transits now during Leo here, okay? It's major. Passionate movement with the Knight of Fire. Okay, that can be a Knight of Fire too. So there'd be a lot of passion or conflict or coming together in that way with the Southeast. Southeast came up twice here. Okay, so there could be actual fires in the Southeast. Yes, C, toggle up to E, the Divine Feminine, the Angel, the Patience with Re, the Shaman, the dance of the masculine and feminine within. That's the 8 energy, okay? When you stand side by side is 8 and 8, or the 8 on its side itself, for me, symbolizes both 8s together, both masculine and feminine dancing together, as opposed to on their own within their own masculine and feminine. The dance within, regarding the Leo transit, the Knight of Fires, the Southeast, the feminine energy. Okay, so challenging their intuition, their love, and their leadership abilities. Okay. So 25 also comes up as whereas 28 is the 2 of Wands in the Tarot, in the Divine Triangle, the numerology book, the 25 comes up as the Y in the road. So I just wanted to bring that up because that Knight of Wands is the 25. So he is that staying at that Y in the road, right? Holding back your passions, or even when you're being the player, you're at the Y in the road because you're not choosing. You're choosing to be a player, which is not choosing your path. That's choosing to not choose and to be the wild card, right? Not brave enough to choose a path for yourself, the path that is best for you. So as we get into the read here, it starts with that 2 of Crystals, which was so funny that was the one that was lost from the deck that I found under the couch. So we start off with the 2 of Crystals, or the 2 of Pentacles, and in this deck, the Sirian Starseed deck, it's very much about surrender, right? He's giving up the 2 options in each hand, leaving the decision up to God, right? The surrender, which was hiding and found today. So the juggling of 2, whether it was, 2 people, whether it was work and home, and it's not all about juggling people, it's all about juggling your daily, every day. So for all Divine Masculines, it's going to come out in a different way. And whatever their addictions are, their codependencies, whether it's the relationship or the work or the spending or the drugs or the alcohol or whatever it is, everyone has challenges in their life. It's not about pointing fingers at anyone that somebody's weaker or stronger than the other. That's not the point here. It's to clear all of our wounds to help each other, because as we clear our wounds, we clear the DNA for all of our generations. So the 2 crystals hiding and found today, no news about the end of family situation, lacking faith, no new start, or a leap of faith. Divine Masculine may have tripped up here, or just trying to break patterns, possibly sucked into the Knight of Wands reversed, one night stand with the Queen of Cups reversed, or breaking patterns and the King of Swords holding back passion with the Queen of Cups if they try to manipulate them. Okay, so it could be two different situations, and there's multiple different like groups of masculines and feminines. You know, they're templates. You know, some you know, are players and they're out there sleeping around, and then others are the other extreme where they withhold from themselves in an extreme way, as opposed to giving, like the players give too much to themselves and take from other people. This is the one who extremely holds back as not to hurt other people. So there's always two extremes. And then there's the others in the middle who may just be in one relationship, or may have cheated, or maybe their divine feminine is the only one, or they're not with anyone right now and they're being celibate within themselves. They're being spiritual people. So there's a couple different templates that go on here. But so, you know, don't, just because you hear one thing in this read, you know, there's a whole bunch of you guys out there. If it doesn't resonate with you, then it's not for you, and don't take it that way, please. So tripped up or breaking patterns. If you want a personal read with me, I'm glad to do a session with you. You can go to my website. All my information is below. So masculine either is breaking their patterns and doing well, and then tripped up. So either they were holding back their passions and then all of a sudden got sucked into a one-night stand, or, you know, having sex with their karmic who they broke up with already when they promised themselves they wouldn't. But the Queen of Cups reverse can be a karmic or it can be a feminine. It just depends on your situation. Or just breaking patterns of the King of Swords holding back passion. So if that's their vice, they need to break that pattern with the Queen of Cups. But, you know, of course not if they're being manipulative. So dropping the facade, the Hermit with the light, which can be the masculine and the feminine, detoxing abandonment wounds, the end of family emotional cycle or extremely unhappy family with no message or news, no faith or a mouthy child, immature or sneaking, stalking, spying communications, leading up to this at work, church, school, creative place, anywhere you come together with other people. There could be a third party through there, or not getting along with the group, or leaving that place to start over in love. Done grounding and integrating and mastering. No more to learn at this place or this cycle. The cycle is done, like I said in the beginning. We're not at the end, we're into the new cycle. So it's letting the past go and let it fall away. Risky business or risking business, I wrote by accident. Guilt and shame, money or gold coin on the brain, or floating coin to pay debts. Not sharing. Clearinghouse to get rid of stuff, pay off debts for a fresh start. No more magic tricks, or in other words, illusions to cover up for the masculine. Lying, untruth, not saying, keeping to self, it's all the same. Grounding 2 gold coins, afraid to let go of the rest. Fuzzy socks, den of thieves, gold bars built into the structure, but no money to give. So seeing people have all these, you know, rich types of things, but really are in debt or have no money at all to give. Robin Hood thought he knew best, but humans aren't in charge of corrections. The universe guards and is the Department of Corrections. Energy must correct itself in order to stay in balance. The human has free will to get in their own way if they want to, but really has little control. It is the letting go that gives you all the power. The 1138. 11 is justice, and 38 is that Queen of Cups. And I was more so getting the Queen of Cups being the feminine, just doing a lot of purging and crying right now, because the Queen of Wands definitely is in this read too, the karmic. But again, in the masculine's life, he can have multiple Queens of Wands and Queens of Cups. They can be people he works with. They could be sisters, friends, and the karmic and family as well. Okay, so it just depends on your situation. The gold coin, the collective consciousness, now elevates to Christ consciousness. The gold coin, no exchange better than that one. The wounded warrior is out displaying wounds of the past, hoofing it everywhere. No free rides. The masculines may have grown up, you know, where they had to earn every dollar they have. No displays of kindness, generosity, only injustices for him. Fixing everything himself, all the things that no one else wants to do. Hanging from rafters to clean Her Majesty's ceiling displays and curtains. Jealousy, insincerity, refusing to offer love to others, or just third party through work, taking his means away, his stability he worked so hard for. Except the injustice is, if he had just asked her for help, Her love was given freely, even if it hurt her. She would not have expected anything in return. The one in your life who wants to love you regardless of the return on their investment. When the masculine doesn't understand that train of thought because they were taught always to get a return on your investment. Jealousy between coworkers or partners at work, now screwed once again in payouts to the end. So the Two of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles, all those pentacles were reversed, and the one pentacle you do want reversed wasn't. The Five of Pentacles was upright. So it's all about a loss of money here, time, energy, whatever it is. Doesn't have to be money, but it's definitely about working on abandonment issues. And I did a clearing on fear of failure too. So fear of failure and success is coming up here as well. Alone again naturally, but now with the light, letting go of addictions, codependencies. True love, amidst all this crap in this reading, is the underlying energy. There's separation, and then on top of that, true love. This is a romance of a lifetime. So not loving someone who truly loves, due to if they really love you, there must be something wrong with them because I don't love myself. That's unworthiness of the masculine, the fear of failure and success. A no-win situation if you fear success and failure. Avoid the dance no more. Pulling codependency out in the light, allowing Cupid's judgment of the masculine openly, not listening to his guidances. The child at the fair refusing to go home to get enough rest for school the next day, or in other words, Peter Pan, the child who never grew up, never loved himself, only others, who took from him gladly all he had to give out of the mouths of babes, which is him. Looking back, going back to making out and always knowing the flame was there, after strategizing with karmic how to use it to his full potential, while the whole time sweetly judged by truthful announcements and continuous call to action by God, wake-up call from a deep sleep that the masculine's under, the divine masculine refused to come out of, the deep sleep like Snow White, to protect him from the evil around him, or the dark's way of controlling him, but in the end it's all love. All one master. Dark is just love without lighting up the truth of it. Hiding under a bushel, afraid of your own greatness, blinding, no need to see when you know. Looking back at jealousies, insincerities, refusal to offer love, preferring to stay in prison of own making, to cheat instead of love. And that was at 1204, which is the Hangman and the Emperor. That's Jesus and the people who took him down. It was the masculine just cheating yourself out of love. By cheating others, you're just cheating yourself. The divine masculine literally must think of the divine feminine in order to achieve orgasm these days, yet continues to deny himself love and thus hurts her as well. The financial discipline comes up as 48. 48 is the Eight of Cups, the walking away and within. And then below that is manifestation, the number 8, the strength. Well, whatever you say or do to your twin comes back to you. So that goes for the divine feminines as well. If you deny yourself love, you hurt you too. You give too much to the divine masculine, so he gives too much to the karmics who don't love him. You take back your power of love, the energy neutralizes in the puppet mastering. God is always assisting with this to guide you there, so to receive more love and stop giving away to those who repeatedly take. You stop feeling energized around those who take too much, but you feel great around those who are just right, those who never want to leave. You never want to leave because you always feel good around them. Listen to your heart and body, not to your 3D brain, and realize that those that you feel good around actually may feel drained by you. And emptiness. Oh, so then the body and how it reflects all of this stuff was coming up as far as constipation and how your body works. So constipation is an emptiness. It's your body holding on to something in fear that it won't get enough. Being in fear of unworthiness. Being too much without boundaries. But can just as easily come out the other way. The diarrhea and the vomit. The fullness, the satiated, the conceited, the too skinny. Allowing others to give and give and give, but refusing to love in return, right? The person who expects it from others and doesn't need to give. So the body spews goodness, right? So they throw up or have diarrhea to get rid of all that nutrition for your body. back up all over the place to feed others because you didn't. And then we get to the extremes of this. We're talking about extreme things like an anorexia, bulimia, or obesity. Extreme obesity is those are a whole nother category, because those are both the same thing. They're extremes of the same thing. It's a slow death of torture. To torture yourself, creating karma to punish yourself for wrongdoing, not knowing you always deserve love no matter what. And you are, in essence, protecting yourself from others because of whatever wounds you carry in your body. So if you clear all those wounds, you won't feel that anymore. And then you may be able to actually gain weight or lose weight or become, comfortable in your own body again. So it was interesting how that was coming up. I'll have to look into that or feel into that a little bit more. But I was getting, again, there's this templating around the big and small, okay? So the big is always seen as the one who's the strongest and the small is the weakest, right? So think about when you're in elementary school, picking sides for teams and stuff like that. So the strong is, the fat comes up as strong because it's bigger. It gives, it won't receive too much. Skinny is not enough to others, right? So the thin guy, the guys won't think is strong enough. He'll require them to constantly hold them up. So they reject them. Or hurting yourself to get attention by trying to stay too thin. The fat is the universe giving you love that you won't give yourself. The taking away of it to get you to be dependent on those you refuse to give love to learn to want to give back to those putting up with your crap, learning to give back. So the different descriptions that were going along with the big and small, and mind you, this is different for the masculine and feminine, right? Because the masculine is supposed to be big and the feminine is supposed to be small. But the attributes of the small is short, weak, thin, and the attributes of the big is fat, muscular, strong, tall. Okay, so you see the difference, and we have masculine and feminine within both of us, so we both receive the same issues with this, just on opposite ends of the scale. So financial discipline, I told you, came up with the 48 for the masculine. He needs to walk away and go within in order to find financial discipline, especially if he's with family who overspends. The Knight of Wands, no longer in his power, defenseless to the powers that be, true emotional fulfillment, or the family happy days, illusion of busy bees and risky behavior inside. So outside, the bees were making a lot of noise to protect the nest from predators who may steal their home and children. Those loud and bossy live in fear. No one is trustworthy outside the family home. That blood is thicker than water. Yes, it weighs you down. It's 3D, with 14 generations of DNA wounding, but you can free yourself and them by shadow work. Clearing your own wounds clears your DNA. Sometimes you leave the family in order to better help them by freeing you and them and clearing the whole bloodline. Because as soon as you bring up your subconscious wounds to your consciousness and are able to free them, you literally free the whole lineage, including your children going forward. They won't have to carry that with them anymore. So we turn the page to 1251, the Hangman, and the 51 of the King of Swords. Mother and child both reversed here, not standing up for themselves in a common theme. Authentic self to be accepted by family or community values. It's about trying to be authentic to yourself, but not able to when in a family or community with their values, their burdens and traditions and beliefs. When you live a lie, you become a liar, ultimately needing to get out of Dodge quick. When you don't trust the outside world, you pull in untrustworthy people. If you are untrustworthy and not authentic self, you pull in those who won't trust you. If all in the family is not authentic to freely express themselves for who they are, negative energies will follow until you come out of your shell. Mothers pass fear onto their children all the time. The masculines or the fathers urge the kids more to explore. So this has to do with masculine and feminine, not the male and female, because you both have both inside. There must be a happy medium, that's why you have a mother and a father, to know you are safe in love, yet open to experience fun things and new things. There is a mother and child dissension here. Someone is taking off with the goods before they are taken away, or someone is robbed. Could be an inside job, but someone may have seen from the window or out on a balcony. Family you trusted could turn out to be the enemy, okay? So keeping enemies closer in the circle of trust, and the storm started here, okay? 101, someone was robbed, all right? That's the time there. Then the thunder started, then 103, which is the magician and the magician, and the magician and the empress, which is the mother. Someone may have been watching your home for when you wouldn't be there, possibly a neighbor or someone who works at your house. This is past underlying energy, so it would have happened already, leading into this reading now. The Page of Wands reversed, frustrated, mad, uninspired, feeling the Dark Mother has taken from him, leaving very little to work with. Injustice of the Dark Mother, the grandmother or the karmic too, siding with a neighbor instead of the masculine, like ganging up on him, feeling bullied. The child or a child screwed up and dropped their facade of injustice performed and now needs to pay a debt or pay their debt to society, a punishment that corrects an imbalance or a wrongdoing. True love is the underlying energy there that comes up, but that's coming up as the prison, as along with financial discipline for the masculine, as long as he continues not to love himself first. Bringing something onto yourself or bringing it on yourself. So being blamed finally for the actions that you do, thinking you can get away with something because as a child, the masculine always did. People didn't call you on your shit. People who thought loving you was protecting you from learning your own lessons, coddling, babying you. My son can do no wrong because he's mine, all mine. All right, so you get the idea. It's about whatever women who were supposedly loving him, it was just so they could keep him under their own control. He will do whatever I say. I control him. There is no woman good enough for my son. Okay, and that was definitely the dynamic in my family. My father's mother was very mean to my mother and didn't feel like she was good enough for him. And that may have driven him more to be with my mother. Whether they should or shouldn't have been together, that's not for me to say. But it was not easy. You know, my mother had a very bad temper, although she was a wonderful, dynamic, she's very brilliant socially. So, you know, everyone has their dark and their light. It's the love, though, that needs to be worked on. You know, when people never try to change their dark, you know, their abuse of others or their neglect of others, that's where the issue is, okay? Everyone starts out with both, you know, we always have it in us. It's what we choose to do with it that counts. So the magician and the 21 is the world, the completion. And recently, before I get into that, I'm going to show you around the cards. And then we'll get back here because there's a lot to say. All right, we have the underlying energy of the two crystals there. The recent past is the 8 of Wands, or the 8 of Flames in this deck, which was upright today. And then this is the 4 of Crystals, or the Pentacles. It's the Divine Masculine's heart for me, the Batcave. And then in the center we have the transition card, the death card, the portal, which was upright and powerful, very powerful today. We have the Adept of Flames, the Knight of Wands there is the challenge. And then crowning after the other underlying energies over here is that 5 of Cups, which was upright, the grief card. Also that passing the 3rd baton to the 4th race, or the 4th runner in the race. The 2 of Chalices is the near future, which you see the 2 people right there. This one is upright today, guys, which is a very positive sign coming in here, okay? The masculine sees himself as the 10 of Swords upright, not reversed. It was upright, so he's in the betrayal and pain. All of the romance angel cards you see, there's definitely deception he has to get past in order to get through the heart-to-heart conversations and keep an open mind about all that true love. Around him is the Hermit, which was upright today. The blocks he needs to clear is the 10 of Pentacles, right? That ultimate family, which was also upright today. And then it ends up here on that 5 of Swords upright with the 10 of Wands reversed, the Knight of Swords reversed, and the Tower reversed, going up to the Hierophant at the top there. And then here I just kept them all over to the side today. This is the little sidebar that I'll go across as well. All right. So view of the other cards. All right. So recently, expressing feelings of risky business at night, or coming to light, or at the last full moon, escaping the other dogs howling, insecure and feeling manipulative. So knowing when he feels not centered to get away from those kind of energies. After a hit and run in the night, leaving him feeling devoid, destitute, or that he cheated himself out, or something that he cheated himself out of all of this time together with the feminine that he could have had. Injustices, divorces, scams, and court issues, things taken from you, sexual frustration, insecurities, feeling you have no tools, stealing away from the energies at the full moon or at night, feeding insecurities with energy, thoughts, ideas that don't belong to you. And there was lots, so this is when the thunderstorm was all this time, lots of thunder and lightning at 1:28. And then right there, as I said to you, the mailman showed up at that 1:28. So that's the Magician and the Two of Flames, the two wands. The foundation is the Four of Pentacles reversed, divine masculine's heart, making over the bat cave. The heart grew 3 times that day. Confessions of the dark night, letting go to repair, make amends, let go of attachments, lies, and cutting through the BS to split, divide, no matter the cost. And then thunder came in again. Centrally, the masculine is that transition, that death card, transformation, the portal. And we're definitely in a portal energy right now. And definitely when I did that clearing last night, I was out. I don't remember it. I woke up at the end, which I always do, but I was totally out. So it was definitely intense energies and messages coming through. But with that transition card upright, there's full power of the portal to walk through. Impatient angel or fallen one, awake from hitting the floor, banged his head to see no option. So it's like the roll over in bed, you know, the little one said roll over. So they fall out of bed and hit their head in order to awake, to see there is no options. I've hit bottom, but to go up from here. So when you hit bottom, you are freed from the choice. If you don't want to die, there's only one way up. Or one way, there's only a one-way street, right? There's no choice there, and that's up. The third party, overindulgences or gossip around the High Priestess and the Knight of Wands reversed may be weak with exposed back end, tail up, and no protection. The Page of Swords reversed between the High Priestess and the Queen of Wands, and she's looking the other way. It's not me, right? So the Queen of Wands pretending she's all innocent or justified in what she's doing. Trash talk, silent treatment, spying, that the sword is the Queen of Wands of this Page of Wands talking trash. She's literally on top of that sword. Loading poison arrows very strategically, one at a time, and feeling justified to take down impatient angel, whether that be the masculine or the divine feminine, all one and the same. The Queen of Wands death on one side, of fallen angel, and dark night surrender on the other. The Queen of Wands could be disguised as a woman, but really is a man or transgender. And you notice that trans came up in the code line today. So this is the wounds all around transgenders and transvestites, transsexuals, or just a woman who is very masculine and vengeful, very dark, could have red or auburn hair, and always wears a very low cleavage to expose her breasts, and jewels around her neck to highlight it even more, as well as a black cat at her side. The Queen of Cups reversed and the Page of Pentacles upright. Well, she's without peace, but opportunity to learn by exposing her gold coin and being happy and strong and bright, even without affection of lover in life. Or she is the Page of Pentacles child, very good student, but no inner peace, because they always give too much, trying to please their parents. The challenge being the Knight of Wands reversed. The player ways or holding back passions. There's no in between. The bad girl or the good girl. Who does the fallen angel give passion to? At 153, 1 is the Magician, 53 is the catapult, but it's also the Knight of Swords rushing in. Right? Who to save? He's the knight in shining armor, right? Ready to save the day. The Page of Swords reversed and the Page of Pentacles upright. One a gossip and possibly conceited and possibly cheats, and the other no sex, gets no sex and gives too much, no self-worth. Now crowning is the Five of Cups upright, implementing a payoff of some kind to connect face to face, to see eye to eye. In a moment of weakness, the masculine may have gave away his savings, or Leo or ego, out of control, stole it, very unhappy with himself, had an opportunity and took it. So the wounded warrior gave up and surrendered to destitution, abandonment, frustration, no inspiration, gave away what wasn't his to an opportunist, got played by Viking princess or priestess, weak Leo and or ego who took down the boar. Well, this is the masculine saying, well, boar no more. Transformation or death, one may have chosen death, the other the light or this life. The divine masculine grieving finances or unhappy child who always did the right thing. The high priestess with keys, thought to be weak for offering keys freely. No fighting or conflict, no lies. If others don't like it, they don't have to receive it. No romance or offers of sex, only the keys to heaven if you are willing to accept the mission. The fallen, the impatient angel, transformation of the dark hierophant, the bodybuilder or athlete past his prime, still with big muscles and scraggly beard and snowcap to get attention from young girls, in boxing robe, in corner of ring for time out, possibly to be serviced, to have someone sit on their lap, running home for a quickie, his way, and then back to work while she's home drinking to ease her pain, the white hook. Narcissist, idiot, template. Putting others down so they try harder to please you, but you can't be pleased because you hate yourself. So good at manifesting outside yourself so you won't have to look inside and be scared anymore. Pretend was better than facing the abuse, the neglect, the pain you experienced and had put away for a rainy day. No affection in death of this dynamic, only offer of help. Some kind of healthy choice from a friend without affection, ungrounded and losing money, and knowing you and your friends and family are saying mean things about her. The sealed divine feminine who experienced great depression and gave you only love, and her unfolding of her authentic truth, her authentic self. Fear is the enemy in all cases, turning lives inside out and upside down in fear of exile or abandonment. At 221, that's the high priestess and the world, again completion. To face it, you realize you're always connected to source, and you choose whether or not you cut yourself off from that. This way, no one can ever cut you off because you're always connected to everyone. So 221 to 222, so here we have room 222, which is all about guidance counselors. Soon is the Two of Cups, and that could be about getting guidance and guidance counselors, especially for kids at school. 2 Cups, union standing up for self. Aligned and focused. Assembly line of good tidings on the mission. It's like the masculine finally is aligned and he did all the work that he needed to get done. He's done. Strong and bold without control, allowing your chariot to guide you to your next destination. No option but to express your feelings and allow yourself to fall if not ready to leap. It takes little birdies a few times to leave the nest. Until then, they rely on you to keep them safely trying until free to fly on your own, like learning to drive. It takes patient guidance to allow them to learn at their own pace. Each is different and has different needs and journeys ahead. Be love and love yourself when you mess up with them. They will forgive you. They are your children and they love you. The divine masculine is coming up as seeing himself as that 10 of orbs or 10 of swords. Death, pain, betrayal. He may feel that it follows him wherever he goes. But now he becomes sovereign and sees his power or that of his divine feminine or his own teen. The Empress and Queen of Swords speaking truth with the end of an emotional cycle between them. The divine feminine came into her power, letting go of family emotional dependencies to speak her authentic truth. Even grandparents and mothers who don't get along can both feel the same pride for the granddaughter at graduation. Someone making a speech about the pride of their child, which is their pride, taking the credit for what the grandmother did, or the Empress getting past family differences to speak on behalf of the independent female or granddaughter who has it all. So how did she get there? By what she earned or by her dowry? For some, the perfect single life is something simple, peaceful, and loving. And for others, they want something grand and servants to keep up the house and the upkeep. Be careful what you wish for. Be what you wish. And then whatever resonates with you will come into your sphere. Love, peace, and joy. Remember that they're your main staples. Deception comes up, heart-to-heart conversations. For the masculine to keep an open mind because his partner may differ from what he's used to. And then finances and career are very important. For the masculine, they came in from the numerology deck as well, that they are a factor in your love life right now. Around the divine masculine may experience 3 generations of women ignoring him or betraying him. Around him, or how he's seen, is the hermit with the light, but without peace, despite creature comforts and letting go to repair, walking away and within to create new passion, new inspiration from what's been given. Whether that's your own gifts, financial gifts, that which is an opportunity to give, to create, to love, and to expand, to take your heartache and use that as well. No matter what it is, those who've been silenced now speak with feelings, not thoughts, channeling a higher love. 242, the High Priestess and the 2 of Cups. Seeing each other as you are, face to face, eye to eye, cheek to cheek. Clear blocks about family wealth, divine masculines. The King of Cups, who held his tongue and learned to express his feelings through feeling instead of words and thoughts, or you're using your words to express your feelings, but instead of thoughts. The reason why he's the King of Cups and found his power is because he learned to express from his feelings as opposed from his brain. Harsh words, bad tempers, put away to express naturally, back and forth. So the 8 of Wands is about that back and forth expression of feelings until it evens out. So whether it's 2 people or 8 people, it's about the circle around the pie, allowing everyone their input and keep going back and forth until peace comes out of it. A piece of the pie comes out. That is how the family wealth grows. All share and support one another within and without, so they share all their blessings, that they're able to have such fortune between themselves and such peace between themselves as a family, that they are full of such love that they want to also give to the community in some way. And that's just the natural way it happens when you just love yourself and the others around you. The Knight of Pentacles offers help to get past bad memories, the past returning, or difficult kids in the aftermath of sudden events or epiphanies. There's always someone there to offer help if you accept it and you be humble. Allow yourself to receive help and not feel like you're above that. The wealthy and the poor are both deserving of the same love at the dinner table. Within your own family, you should be aware of that. You don't need any money to give. It's free. It's getting connection there as well. Holding back the gold coin, just like in bowling, creates momentum when it comes back the other way. In other words, it's okay to save for a rainy day. And then I was getting the parallel to eat, sleep, pray, love. That the day is categorized in 4 sections of 6 hours, right? So to give 6 hours to each part of your life. One may be, and I was getting for eat, I was getting, let's see, where did I get this? So the quarter of savings or holdback is the sleep, right? Because that's you holding back and reserving your energy, the hibernation. And then the quarter to sustain life is pray, because that's when you have to keep praying to stay connected, the stillness, the me time. And then to have fun and consume is the eat, right? Because eating is fun, as well as whatever else you like to do that's fun, that consumes your energy. And then the other quarter is love, or to give to yourself first and then others. In preparing for a new life, ask friends for help and just do you. And I want to go back to that too, because someone's going to say, well, 6 hours is enough sleep for me. Well, 6 hours would be enough sleep for us all if we had no stress in your life and we lived according to the natural cycles of things. And also, it's not to say you can't sleep more than 6 hours. You can take some of your eat, enjoy, fun time to sleep, or your prey time to sleep. You know, that always works out between them. It's not about adhering strictly to 6 hours and 6 hours. It's getting the point of always living a balanced life. In preparing for a new life, ask friends for help and just do you. Intuition comes up, love, and leadership for the masculine, but even more so, synchronicities and teaching and learning from each other. Fantasy life with the King of Cups, loss of hope and fear, bred depression, grief, loss, sadness, guilt, shame, and regret. Offer something healthy to a friend in need. In other words, the enemy who says mean things or gives you the silent treatment or depression, or their world is upside down, it's out of fear that people won't accept them as they are. The Queen of Pentacles reversed, without affection, in transformation or transition, and in another world, or the Divine Feminine, as some may say, may be silent to try to keep the faith, the hope of dreams that come true, real. The Divine Masculine with the fear of another world of the Divine Feminine, or his own upside down world, while trying to heal and forgive at the same time, fearing when the Divine Feminine heals that she won't want him or love him anymore. The King of Cups, amidst crazy world, not quite completed, and the Page of Wands reversed, frustrated and uninspired, afraid to test the limits and boundaries of unconditional love theory, or not wanting to pass on all of his difficulties in this world and kids to his twin, not allowing the twin their sovereignty, their own choice to make decisions. And I definitely experienced that before, where your partner thinks they know what's best for you better than you do, so they take your choices away from you. Afraid and grieving, transformation of his own heart, dropping the burdens, confessing, looking or going back to mean words, silent treatment, spying, bipolar, King of Wands, lacked faith, and that doesn't have to be him, but what was around him is coming up as people lacking faith and then fell into depression. Or the King of Wands was amidst past friends, negativity, and Aquarius, lack of faith of himself or him. The Knight of Swords reversed holds his tongue in the aftermath of sudden events, disaster, explosions, epiphanies, and where he gets that great energy from. Well, the Queen of Pentacles reversed, paying, whether that's the karmic, paying for marriage and contracts and commitments, church, group establishments, and Taurus, okay? Or the Divine Feminine, depending on your situation and what she has been giving you all this time. Okay, so masculine trying to identify where exactly he's been actually getting that great energy from. Like assuming it was his karmic because, you know, she was getting the Divine Feminine energy through having sex with him. So her always wanting it more and more and more because it was the twin energy that she was stealing, and he was allowing her to take that. It's just saying, oh, it's better this way. She can be, you know, I'm comfortable with this situation, and so... and just ignoring the fact that there was another party in the situation that they were both abusing. So 316 is the Empress and the 16 of the Tower, afraid to confess all the terrible things he said in an explosion or verbal abuse of sudden event that he was unprepared for and then didn't react well, or ignored the Divine Feminine out of fear, that he could never pay back the debt he owed her, whether that's finances and marriage or with karmics or Divine Feminine. So then we get into the side note of the situation. And I also want to say that for all of those who don't get the whole reads, I always do summaries of the read at the end. So that is the summary that you've been asking for. So out of control, the Emperor, weak Leo or ego, or Aries out of control, or Leo out of control, sticking their big butt where it doesn't belong, in a downturn or slowdown, retrogrades or backpedaling of depression and loss of hope, a message of love from the King of Pentacles reversed, or one who's losing money or retiring, so it doesn't have to be a masculine necessarily. A prisoner of pain and betrayal, endings, death. The King of Swords may have tripped up, showing his low vibration, his weakness. Lowballing didn't work, or he got sucked back in to old patterns, or or holding back passion with the Queen of Cups. Or holding back passion with the Queen of Cups reversed, turning her back on him, or him sucked into putting up from behind a one-night stand or sex only without feelings involved, an F-buddy, in fear. The enemy is fear, standing in their truth, of a love offer from the 5D, or grieving when they do not connect with them. Announcements or wake-up call, judgment of the Divine Masculine players coming in the back door of the Divine Feminine in the 5D, leading the way, and the Divine Feminine's leading the way to know without knowing. Frustrated, both her and him, and uninspired by love in the 5D, wanting to start over in love in the physical realm, after both tired of the mastering, the grounding and integrating, but I was also getting the mystery or the misery of the 5D, the mastery, the grounding and integrating of the 5D to the 3D world, calling out the Divine Masculine on his shit, taking the lead, the feminine, even when depressed and crying over him, having sex using her in 5D, and then telling her in the 3D, I may like hanging out with you now and then, but and telling you all my troubles and having you fix things, and this isn't this isn't any one person. This is one specific section of twins, but basically telling the Divine Feminine to their face that you're just, I don't know why I don't want you. You're just not good enough for me. I got myself another sugar mama or hot mama who lets me do whatever I please, but I just can't perform sexually without using you. So what's the big deal? The problem is that when the King of Swords is in his truth, and according to him, weak, is when he wants his Divine Feminine, which is him. The 5D causing them both loss and depression, or that's the karmic, you're back ending, and she fears you are receiving love from the 5D grieving widow, which you are, holding the Divine Feminine hostage and killing her. Her trying to resist loving you is futile if she truly loves herself. Sexually stimulated, trying to pretend the karmic isn't there with you, pulling up the energy, or at least not letting it go there so he can get off, or not allowing that anymore. The King of Pentacles reversed could be the Divine Masculine or the Divine Feminine, the prisoner, ungrounded and losing money, status, just to stop and offer a message of love to depressed Aries, Libra, Leo, or Aquarius. And the Libra, Leo, or Aquarius are all reversed energies, offering his innocence or her innocent love, or his own child who is loving, to 4 very negative people, a group who are depressed and out of control, abusing their power, and the Divine Feminine to him in the same way. So the King of Swords was coming up upright, but was also equal to the Emperor reversed, which would be out of control, or in other words, ego death. The Knight of Swords, the Knight of Wands reversed was coming up as a Libra reversed, and that judgment comes to this person. The Two of Pentacles reversed comes up as the Leo or ego reversed. So the juggling has to do with ego and Leo. And then the Queen of Cups reversed comes up as an Aquarius reversed. And in doing this, she gets attention. The Page of Cups upright, this beautiful loving soul, is coming up as the enemy because they're in their knowing of what love truly is. And then the King of Pentacles reverse is coming up as the Ace of Cups, the one who offers their love despite any financial loss because they know that that's not real. They are coming up as frustrated and uninspired, and that can, like I said, can represent the masculine and the feminine. The prisoner comes up as the 5D, the dumping out to start over in love. The death and the betrayal and pain come up as equaling grief. So no news about the family, unhappy or over, the Divine Masculine falling on 2 timelines, lacking faith and dropping the facade and breaking patterns at the same time. The Divine Masculine flip-flops to betrayal, to end the pain, painful death or ending, with Hermit expressing passionate feelings in the portal, the transition, the bridge, the transformation, the death, challenged by the Knight of Wands reversed, connecting face-to-face with family legacy, or to a meeting with family to grieve the war, an enemy attack, which always starts within. The King of Wands staying neutral, as those with no faith, confessing, dropping burdens, holding tongue or verbal abuse in the aftermath of attack, war, those grieving and fearing the worst. After ending of a war, Fearing the worst would mean another war begins. Trying to take down the angels, but the dark won't win. Our bond can survive anything. Love of self surpasses all. Tripping up, expressing passions, sexually frustrated, injustice of so much debt. The Four of Pentacles reversed, or the Divine Masculine's heart, transitions to grief, challenged by his player ways. Painful endings, betrayal and death, needing a massage perhaps, connecting face to face, cheek to cheek with hermit and or family or fantasy family in great fear and grief, to confess, hold their tongue, to avoid even more disasters to come. Not wanting her to lose anymore due to Taurus or marriage, establishment or God, tradition, or society norms. Okay, and as soon as I started talking about tripping up, expressing passions, and sexually frustrated, sirens went off. That was at 4:20 to 21. So 20 is the judgment, and 21 is the world. So there needs to be judgment in order to come to completion. All right? So that was it. I'm going to pull you some more cards here. What is it? It's an hour 55. All right, so we have the hour, and now it's 10101. Perfect. That's staying at that high vibration no matter what. The Magician and the truth of the cycle. After the sun, after exposure, comes judgment, which there needs to always be had, is about you making your own judgments about you and allowing other people to make their own judgments about themselves, right? But decisions always have to be made, and that's what judgment is. It's just choosing right or left, or which path you take at the Y in the road. So you have to make a judgment, a decision, okay? Otherwise you get stalemated. You can't get to the end of the cycle until you make a judgment. A judgment call is the wake-up call, the announcements, speaking of your truth. You know, if you're angry, to say so, that you're angry at being abused or neglected, and that the masculine has to take responsibility for that and start stepping up to the plate to be his authentic true self, the strong masculine that he is, all right? The angelic warrior that he is. Know who you are, masculines. Know who you are and step up to the plate. It's time for you to hit a ball out of the park and come into your power and allow yourself to receive and give love. All right, and as I said that, the Ace of Pentacles dropped out for the masculine, okay? So I'm going to put that back in. Okay, and that's offering your gold coin. When you are true to yourself and your authentic self, and only then is it time to offer yourself to another. But that's when you can start your new life, and we have 4 10s today, which means we're not only ended, but we're already into the new cycle. Okay, so let's see for the last messages for today for everyone watching and the best and highest good of all those concerned. What do we need to know? What do we need to learn? This is July 31st, last day of July. The new moon is tonight at 11:11. This is East Coast time. What do we need to learn here? Christus, Sophia, Mother, Father. What is it we need to learn? What is the last message for us, please? All right, so it fell out again, upright again, okay? So let's see what else is coming up for you guys. Then we have the Queen of Pentacles upright, which is beautiful. This is definitely representative of the Divine Feminine in her power, grounded and stable, with everything she needs around, very humble. Then we have the Three of Pentacles, the Trinity energy, or the masculine's workplace, place of co-creation. It is positive, it is upright, being calm and balanced and negotiating, working things out. And you notice it was 3 Pentacles that just came up. Pentacles is the last suit of the journey, right? You start off at the Wands, which is the basic animal instincts of sexuality, going to the Cups of emotions and love, and then you get to the Thoughts, which take you to the higher realms, the higher love, in order to manifest. And so those 3 cards that just came up for you are all manifestation cards in the last suit. And then you have the Magician, okay? Full Magician embodiment. Okay? All it needs now is to be in another world. This can be it's just about officially bringing it full circle. But this often for me is also just that other world, right? It's not our world, it's another world. Okay, and the full awakening of all the masculines, okay, coming into union. That wake-up call. You need the judgment. It's the wake-up call in order to complete the cycle. The Three of Cups. Come together in joy and love with all. Okay. The Queen of Cups is upright as well. Loving, nurturing, intuitive Queen of Cups. So whether you're the Queen of Pentacles or the Queen of Cups, whether you're karmic or the Divine Feminine, it's about everyone getting on the same page and being in love. Okay. There, that's so funny, you guys. It totally fell off right as I pulled these two cards together. So the Lovers reversed and the Queen of Wands reversed. If someone chooses not to be loving, right? Because she's reversed, which is anger, vengeance, all those kind of energies, right? Well, that's always somebody's choice. But you still have to be in being love, okay? If someone doesn't resonate with that, then they need to walk away. Okay. So I'm going to leave it at that. The underlying energy at the bottom of the deck here was Knight of Swords. Let's see what's under that. So Knight of Swords was reversed, which was how it was in the read, as we're coming into those cards I just pulled for you. And this was also reversed in the read, okay? And then the suffering and silence, right? The fall from status, the fall from grace, money, and all the things that society deems you worthy of, and holding your tongue. Okay, being able to hold your tongue, but also to be able to say what's on your mind, right? Confrontation, which both twins have issues with, confronting people because they don't like to get people angry at them. You know, you have to get past that. You have to speak your truth no matter what. How can someone disrespect you ultimately if you are speaking the truth and not doing something just to hurt them, but to just speak your own truth so you can free yourself, okay? Even if it hurts other people, it needs to be said to bring it to the light, because the more light we shed on the dark, the less dark there is, the less hurt there is, right? The less manipulation, the less underhandedness, secrets, all that kind of stuff to prevent love from coming through, right? So this is all the stuff that was coming before that, right? The prison of attention, the prison of being in control or working for the person who controls, right? To all the suffering and silence, and then finally letting go of control and holding your tongue. Or that can be verbal abuse as well. Okay? But you don't want to be abusive. You just want to speak your truth in a calm way. When the tempers get raised, that's time to walk away, calm yourselves down, and then come back together again until it works itself out. And that can be in work and at home. The four cards that were coming up after those last cards I pulled are these four here, which I just pulled out. So that's about... I'm sorry. I guess I'm not situated very well here. I guess there's a message in that, guys, that it's not always easy. Sometimes it takes time, right? You don't get it right the first time. That was definitely a message in the read. But we have the Death card reverse, which is not full transformation, but it's also to do with the Dark Knight, all right? And feeling and experiencing a near-death experience, realizing that you do probably have PTSD, and to, be good to yourselves. Have patience for yourself as well. This can be the secret being out. Okay, it could also be when you're not connecting to your higher self, but it also can be passion, right? That you feel when you're not connected because you're feeling so much 3D passion. But this also can be that the secret's out, so you don't need to know at the moment, but you should always pull yourself back to center point, because even if the secret's out, that's more reason for you to stay centered so you can deal with whatever comes next. Okay, that's the spiritual practice every day of coming back to self. All right. So then we have that, this is the masculine tripping up in the read. This is how it was in the read. Sometimes we fall and make mistakes, right? So if we come out of complete transformation and, backstep it a bit and fall back into the old habits of being disconnected, you fall down again. So then you just get back up. You realize you break your pattern, okay? You drop the facade again, and you purge. And that's all it's saying. It's saying never give up on yourself. When you trip and fall, get back on the horse and do it again. Just like we tell our kids, and how the birdie falls out of the nest. Okay? So drink your water, get your rest, be joyful, be good to yourself, have fun, have fun, have fun, and rise and be loved, you guys. Okay? I love you.